Blaming the internet for what's wrong with us is like blaming the mirror because you don't like what you see. The algorithm didn't ruin society. It amplified what we rewarded. Now AI enters the same incentives. The question isn't about the tool, it's about us.
All right. I'm going to say something that maybe might piss some of you off, make others of you uncomfortable. It's not politically correct, but I'm going to say it anyway. Blaming the internet for what's wrong with us as a society, it's like blaming the mirror when you look at it and you look fat. Yeah, I said it, fat. I was fat most of my life. I'm still not skinny. I'm not here to shame anyone. But if you don't like the reflection in the mirror, don't blame the mirror. Put down the friggin' cannoli.
Blaming the internet for what's wrong with us is like blaming the mirror because you don't like what you see. The algorithm didn't ruin society. It amplified what we rewarded. Now AI enters the same incentives. The question isn't about the tool, it's about us.
All right. So I recently listened and read along. I like to read along and listen to a podcast if it has that option. I find that more soaks in. But this was up on the New York Times podcast. It featured Ezra Klein interviewing two really smart guys, Cory Doctorow and Tim Wu. Both of them smart guys. All three of them are. It was a really serious conversation. The podcast was, we didn't ask for this internet. And they're not wrong. They were talking about how the internet stopped being about connection and turned into really something else entirely, something we're not really comfortable and happy with. It's a place where outrage beats truth, engagement beats sanity. As Tim Wu says, extraction beats trust. Cory Doctorow sums it up. He calls it enshittification. I love that word. I think it captures what's gone wrong with the internet perfectly. Enshittification. Of course, when I hear enshittification, I think of the song Californication. And that led to a whole nother kind of rabbit hole we've gone down here at TechStrong. We actually did a music video, a parody on Californication, using completely synthetic music and AI. I'll tell you about it at the end. But the world premiere of it is at the end of today's show. So stick around when I'm done for our world premiere video of the song Enshittification. But honestly, another way of looking at it is this whole internet thing seems to have gone to hell in a handbasket, as we used to say on the street where I grew up. And listen, on the diagnosis about it being enshittified and used for extraction, I think Cory and Tim Wu are right. But here's where I have the problem. And you know what? Frankly, it pisses me off a little too. Everybody keeps saying the internet did this, the internet did this, the internet did this, the algorithm did that, social media did this, AI did that. You know what this reminds me of? It's like Frankie Pantangelo in The Godfather Part 2 testifying to Congress. And then he says, yeah, sure. But guys, let's stop the blame game. No, full stop. The internet didn't do this. Hell no. We did this. We did it to ourselves. The internet didn't wake up one morning, stretch, crack its knuckles, and say, hey, today I feel like ruining society. No, we did this. The internet's a tool. AI is a tool. They're all tools, and tools don't have morals. People do. It's like you have a hammer. You can build a house with it, or you can crack a skull, but don't blame the hammer. And that's what I'm saying here. That's what I mean. Cory Doctorow laid it out cleanly. Platforms start off treating users like royalty, then they pivot to treating advertisers like royalty, and then they pivot again and treat their shareholders like royalty. And everybody else, man, we're just livestock. We're not even pets, we're the cattle. That's the enshittification cycle right there, guys. You feel it every time a product gets worse. More ads, more friction, more junk recommendations, more paywalls, more tiers, less value. Tim Wu calls this extraction. Same movie, different angle. Platforms don't just connect people anymore. They conquer the space. They rig the toll booth. They siphon value upwards, hollowing out the ecosystems below. This is all true. But there's a part of this we need to acknowledge, and we need to own it. It's not the internet. The internet's a mirror. If you look in the mirror and the reflection's ugly, you can scream at the mirror, but you really should be screaming at yourself. The internet reflects us. And if that, as I said, if that reflection is ugly, you don't get up and you don't punch the glass. You know, the mirror, if you've looked in mirrors and, you've gone for therapy, the mirror shows us everything. It's our curiosity, our creativity, our generosity sometimes, but it's also our cruelty, it's our greed, it's our mob instincts. It's our most base instincts. This last decade or so, maybe 15 years, that reflection has been brutal and getting more brutal. People say things online that they would never say in person or out loud. At least they used to. Now, because of it, saying it online, we're starting to say it out loud in person too. At school board meetings, on airplanes, in restaurants, workplaces, even among families. The screen didn't invent this behavior, though. It rewarded it and it legitimized it. And now it's walking around in public among us like it pays rent and it's allowed. And that's the real problem. Blaming the internet is like blaming a gun for having a trigger. The trigger is just part of the gun. The bullet goes in the gun. The question is not even who pulled the trigger or who used the gun. The question is, why did we give him the gun and why did we let him keep reloading? Why did we hand them the whole damn ammo factory? We could say without the internet, without the platform, the bad actors don't scale as fast, and that's true. But guys, that genie left the bottle decades ago. The train left the station. The network exists. The infrastructure exists. I don't think you could pull the plug on it. The question now among us is, what are we willing to do about it? Let's talk about another thing, though, that also is kind of freaking people out, and that's AI, right? This week, OpenAI announced they're running ads. People say, you see, same stuff, different day, it's over. And this one's even worse, because think about the intimate details that AI may have that'll use against us in putting ads. But this isn't a betrayal, my friends, it's confirmation. AI doesn't float above economics. It isn't immune to incentive. It's not magically virtuous or good. Because it's not about the enshittification of AI. The dangerous thing is pretending that this enshittification isn't happening. It's happening before us, and we've got to do something. I'd rather see the mirror clearly and the reflection in the mirror clearly than live in a fantasy, some mirror on the wall thing, or it just blows smoke up my butt. Because here's something else to squirm over. If you're a builder, a founder, a leader, an operator, you don't get to pretend that you're just an innocent bystander user this time. We know how this movie ends. We know when incentives drift unchecked, the question isn't, will AI enshittify? The question is, who says no to it and when are they going to say no? Who chooses paid over free constraints, over growth at all cost? Trust over optimization, friction, where friction protects people. Hey guys, that's not vibes, that's backbone. And it costs money. And quite frankly, to make decisions like that may cost you money, you either got to have a really big set or you got to have crazy conviction. Guys, it takes being bold. And being bold doesn't mean yelling here on X or LinkedIn or wherever I am watching me now. It means changing based on what things actually cost. Talk about nothing is free. Be honest and open about what you're going to do with people's information and their time and their data. Refusing dark patterns, even when they convert building products that don't need surveillance to survive. It means being bold means telling users the truth instead of seducing them. Telling them we didn't fail the internet because we weren't smart. We were too smart. We failed it because we weren't brave and we weren't bold. AI gives us one more run at this. I'm not throwing you hype and I'm not trying to nonsense you. It's about responsibility. Some of us say AI will fix all of it. Yeah, AI can help us, sure, but it doesn't fix it if we don't fix it. Moderation at scale, surfacing better info, detecting spam, all of that. But remember, at the end of the day, AI is just another tool, and it's how we use it. If the values behind it are extraction, domination, enshittification, AI will just make this mess faster and more efficiently. It'll make the enshittification deeper. You know what? Others say it's generational. That digital natives will develop antibodies and they won't be enshittified, if you will. Maybe, I hope so. But waiting for the next generation to clean up the mess that we've made over the last 25, 30 years here, especially over the last 10, 15, is the moral equivalent of leaving your garbage on the sidewalk and saying, hey, don't worry, someone else will get it. Ultimate kick the can down the road a bit. You know what? When you get to my age, you realize we kick too many cans down too many roads, and all you get at the end is a bigger mess to clean up. That's not the answer. It just makes for more of this enshittification. There is that word again. And you know, another word that comes in my mind when I hear enshittification, everybody hates it, regulation. When a handful of companies get to shape what billions of people see, believe, buy, fear, and fight over, that's not just the market, my friends. That's power. And it's concentrated power. And concentrated power is almost never good for the public. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's always been true, and it still is true. That is as true now as it ever was. You know, we regulated the railroads, we regulated utilities, we regulated banks. Tech has kind of been an exception. We've always skirted around, not because it's special, but because it's been untouchable till now, and this is what we wound up with. Maybe social media platforms and hyperscalers and AI need to be treated like public utilities, at least in part. Yeah, different obligations, different standards, different accountability. But I know how that sounds. I know. I'm a boomer. Well, I'm actually a Joneser. Jones generation, in between boomer and X. But it sounds very much to me like, you know, you've heard this before. Let's form a blue ribbon committee and maybe we can look into it. But here's the truth. The stakes this time are too high for vibes-based government and good intentions. So let me start wrapping up here with Shimmy's take. Until we're willing to go behind this mirror and admit that what's staring back at us is our own doing, our own reflection, nothing is going to change. We can blame the algorithm, we can blame the platforms, we can blame AI, we can blame the whole internet. Or we can recognize that these are tools that just amplify our own intent, our own instincts. And the internet problem is ours. The mirror isn't the enemy, here we are. The reflection is the warning. So stop screaming at the mirror about the internet. Decide what you're willing to change in this reflection. Because if you're going to fix this and save ourselves, it's time to be bold. It's time to be bold. And if you don't like what you see, don't blame the glass. Be bold. Be bold. Now I got something special for you. I mentioned it in the beginning, right? This is a music video, a debut music video from Textron. It's from our own Brian Uskulka, our Grammy Award-winning sound editor. He conjured this up with some AI. It's all AI. It's all synthetic. I think you're going to like it. Take it for what it is. Hate on it if you want to, but it's pretty cool, I think. I'm Shimmy. I'm out, and I'll see you next week.
Truth gets thin. Scroll your soul down, let the algorithm win. Started with a promise, ended with a toll. Every click cost more than you thought it would cost your soul. Free as in speech, now it's free as bait. Sign here, agree there, it's already too late. User turn product, product turn trap. Smile for the camera while they sell you back your map. They said connect the world, didn't mention extraction. Built it on attention, then monetized distraction. Tricks in your head, every platform rots the moment it's fed. Startups preaching, don't be evil in slides. End up squeezing every dollar out the users they ride. Blue check truce, rage for rent. Outrage boosted, nuance bent. You thought the app worked for you. Turns out you're working for the app too. Power loves scale, score loves greed, and every recommended is just another way to bleed. Enshittification, look around, it's not just you. What started as connection turned into abstraction with the better UI too. Enshittification, no updates gonna fix this mess. The mirror didn't crack itself, we just stopped liking what it reflects. Yeah. Don't blame the screen, don't blame the feed, don't blame the code for human greed. Tools don't lie, people do, and platforms just amplify what we already knew. Enshittification, this ain't nostalgia, it's the bill. You don't pay with money, you pay with attention, time and will. Enshittification, say it slow, say it loud. The internet didn't lose its way, we showed it who we are, proud. So look in the glass before you curse the machine. The ride didn't start online, it just went widescreen. Enshittification. Enshittification.
Shimmy says, shimmy says, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy says, ask me all my